Right, guys, thank you for being there, Alpha Nugs. So it's gonna be Crypto Frank and Moot are gonna present the project. So as usual, little introduction about the team and then the project. And also, I don't know if you saw, I created a thread for Alpha Nugs. I'm gonna ping you there. And yeah, you can ask question there or post anything related to the project if you need to. So the stage is yours.
All right. Well, hey everybody. Appreciate you guys having myself and Frank up here. So I've been a member of Syndicate for I don't know, I guess a month or two now. I bought some tokens in the last sale that we had. So it's been a great experience. And one of the things that I found is making sure that you get to the projects early is very important. As kind of getting I guess along my NFT journey. And so I've been a part of other alpha group related groups as well, and so I ran across Frank in this project that he's been working on. I don't know, about a month ago, and we connected and have been working nonstop on this project called Alpha Nugs AI. And I'll tell you guys a little bit about what the project is and what we do. Frank, of course, is the founder, and so he is here to answer any questions as well. Um, but effectively, what has been developed, and this has already been developed, by the way, this is not something that has yet to be developed, is basically using artificial intelligence and machine learning to effectively scrape Twitter for identification of new NFT projects and NFT related projects, including DAOs, alpha groups, and other NFT tools on an ongoing basis. And then what it does is the software basically pulls the Twitter accounts into our Discord server, and then we have a queue, what we call our junior validator queue, that looks over the projects, makes sure that it is a project. Because as you can imagine, if you have anything NFT related in your profile, it may pull it. And as the machine learning gets better, we're seeing less and less of those types of Twitter profiles being pulled, and more of the actual projects being pulled.
Mm-hmm.
But the the software basically pulls those in. Our team reviews them, and then it goes to a different kind of higher level tier two, if you will, where the projects that come in that we identified as NFT projects are then kind of graded by our team, and then they're output to a feed in our Discord server. All right, and so I was going to share with you guys what it looks like, um, so you can kind of see where this information is being spit out to. So this is a server that I run, and not related to Alpha or anything like that. But basically, the bot is run in our server, and then it puts it into a channel in our server, and then effectively I'm following the channel in my server. So what it does is it spits out the Twitter profiles for these new projects that come along, that we find, that we evaluate. So it gives you the opportunity to be early to be early to these projects, to get OG roles,
Mm-hmm.
Discord invites to close Discords, whitelist spots, all those kind of things that you otherwise may miss if you're not getting to these projects early. So the the tool effectively just keeps getting better, because the machine learning and the AI gets better as it continuously basically checks and rechecks all of the different profiles that are being selected and not selected. And so effectively what we're doing is we're getting this in front of people before anyone else does, and then giving you the opportunity to kind of get those roles and so forth. I did want to share just a couple of success stories. I'm not going to give a presentation, but here's just a few of the projects that we found. Some of them more recent than others, that have completely blown up. So, for example, we found Isekai Meta at 116 followers back in the early March, and now it has this has probably gone up since then, over 172,000 followers. Um, This most recent one is this bedbugs project, which we found it at 38 followers. Now it's over, I think it's over 12K now. So anyway, these are just a few of the, I guess, examples of projects that we found before anybody else did. And basically, if you're watching our feed, you would have found them as well. So yeah, so that's in essence, that's what our project does. And so, the reason why we're coming to you guys today is just to kind of give, just to show you what we're doing and how it may benefit you guys. Right now, all this stuff is free. I talked to Crypto King about bringing the feed into the Syndicate server so we can utilize it. And I don't think that that's been set up yet, but it certainly is something that we can do at any time. You guys can also join our Discord, and in our Discord we have our Alpha Plus feed, as well as all these other feeds as well, where you can see it in real time. And so as soon as it gets approved by our project team, it gets spit out to this section.
What's the difference between the Alpha Plus and the Alpha?
Yeah, good question. So whenever the project comes through our queue and our validators are looking at it, they're making a determination based on the early information that we have available. Is this going to be, or potentially going to be, a top tier project? And there's a whole bunch of criteria that we use to make that determination. Are there influential followers that are following it? What's the growth been like since we found it to when it is, and so forth. And then so it gets graded either an A or a B. And the A projects come to this queue, and then the B projects come to this queue, which are basically the ones that don't really look like they have a lot of potential. It's possible that they do, but we're not completely eliminating them right now.
Okay, so that's a difference between the projects. So it's not like Alpha Plus for certain member, but like it's S tier.
Correct. Yeah, that's basically the tier. Yep. And then, of course, we see a bunch of DAO-related stuff that comes through, and then also other tools that are out there for NFT-related things, like, for example, this NFT tracker app and stuff. And so that gets pushed into its own channel as well, that you can just kind of take a look at if you're looking for tools, for example.
And so you said, so the I could say like the bot or the AI is like finding a project and it go to a queue, and you have like someone already like up to check the project, or it's like sometimes you can wait and maybe miss an opportunity, or do you have like always someone that can verify and check those projects?
Yeah, it's a good question. So we actually we have a pretty large team of people who have significant NFT experience. Around the globe, actually, we have people in the Philippines, we have people in Australia, because to your point, if something comes through at 2 a.m. my time, I'm going to be asleep, but we need someone who can find it and push it through before it does blow up, because we know that those things do happen. So we have basically 24/7 support, if you will, on our team for making sure we're not missing anything.
That's good. And yeah, you were saying it's free for now, or like what's the plan after?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So right now, and we're just opening it up to the public, so you can view any of the feeds that we have publicly available in our Discord. We are offering the Alpha Plus subscription, which is effectively the feed, but you're bringing it into your server for free. And we are, of course, we're moving in the direction of minting a pass to have access to it. We also are looking at subscription models for servers like Syndicate, and we're in a few of the other really really large Alpha servers if they want to have the feed in their server for their members versus having a pass. So we're looking at that as well. But this is just the first iteration or the first step. So I just
next step then.
Great question. So here's kind of our roadmap, if you will. So what I just kind of covered is what we're focusing on completing in Q2, and it's going to our end would be to have the pass launched with the NFT gated server. So in Q3, the focus is on continuing to ensure that the feed is as accurate and optimized as possible, that we're pulling the right projects in and getting them through the queue. But more importantly, we're also implementing a ticketing system through this software platform called Jira Service Management, where we're going to be able to track all of the data points of these projects, so we can use that data in the future for predictive analytics and potentially identification of different metas. If we see a whole bunch of anime stuff coming through, maybe that's the next meta in the NFT space. And so that's really the next step for where we're going with what we're doing right now. I'm sorry, I think that maybe you had said something.
Yeah, like oh shit, I lost my my thought. It's okay, it's gonna come back after, I think.
Yeah. So after we get all of our ticketing system in place, which by the way, we're pretty far in getting this into place, because the goal is to have some objective information shared with the feed. So it's not just the link, right? So we want to have the information right at your fingertips. So things like, if we know the mint date, if we know the mint price, are the founders docs, do they have a website? These are all things that we're going to be including right when it comes through the feed. And so you'll start to see that if you come into our server in our alpha project updates channel. Once we start pushing those updates, anything that we make on the back end is automatically pushes to Discord and keeps everybody kind of in the know about what's going on. And then longer term, Q4 is when we're looking for this. I mean, this is obviously the goal is to have it done before that, but we're also partnering, and Frank can speak more to this, with a company to develop a front end website, if you will, where you'll be able to, or you as a pass holder would be able to access all of the information in real time using the front end website. So if you're searching for a specific project, you found it on Twitter or through our feed, and you want to know more, you can find it easily using the tool, the front end tool, versus trying to find it in Discord, and all that information is sometimes kind of difficult to find. So, Frank, I don't know if you want to add anything to that.
I think it's great. Yeah, no, that's fantastic. You've pretty much hit the nail on the head with everything there. And yeah, so just, I mean, the only thing that I would sort of add would be that the feed is going to be limited. So the passes obviously are going to be like, it's going to be a low supply. And then the premium feed is going to be limited. We're thinking potentially to up to 10 projects at this point. So 10 projects will be able to subscribe to those channels that we have. And we're going to make scams and daily recaps available for free. So the bot that we're going to develop, like the full-fledged Discord bot, is going to be available for free to sort of better the community, like the NFT community, the space as a whole. Mm-hmm. But yeah, those premium channels will be at a fee.
Okay, sweet. And since you've launched like the bot, do you have like any success with those projects? Like, did some mints already happen, and you were like there, like members of your community had the rose and they minted and they flip it, or like they had like a good thing on it, like a good RI, like?
Oh yeah, there's quite a few success. Yeah, go ahead.
Actually, I'll give you guys a success story that will actually hit home, because that pizza bot that Music Man's been talking about, actually it came across the feed before I saw him post about it. And I started following it because I'm a fan of Seth Green and Heavy Metal Magazine, and I followed it and got on the whitelist for it. And then I saw Music Man post about it, and then I was like, man, this is great. Minted for 0.042 and sold one of them for about 0.4. And I know that Adam, I think you said that you sold one too.
Yeah.
So that stuff came across the feed way before I even saw it anywhere else. And so that would, in my opinion, like, is a really good success story. And actually, if you go into our Discord and you join and you look at the member testimonials channel, which is right under general chat, we've asked people just to post in there about success stories that they've had as well. So you can go in and check those out too.
Okay, nice. I'm gonna read some question in the chat. Can you give some insight into how the ML algorithm works? I think it's more technical
Yeah,
stuff.
so yeah, I mean, I can speak to it a little bit. I mean, I've
Yeah.
been coding it and developing it for a few months now. It was at a certain point, like when Moot and I first met, like maybe like 3 weeks to a month before that. I had sort of been like showing other friends and stuff, and it was almost at the point where it was unusable, where it wasn't even like 50-50 projects to profiles. It was like I don't even know what it would have been, but as Moot alluded to, it's been like 70 plus. And so there's quite a few things that I've noticed and that I've added that have cut down on the noise. There's a bunch of stuff I would like to go back to add eventually as well, like once we've got more time and funds to allocate to it. But yeah, I mean, it's basically taking a snapshot of NFT Twitter and trying to decipher what's a project, what's not. And then beyond that, it really takes the human touch to really make sure that it's either a tool or a DAO or an alpha group or whatever else, right? So that's essentially how it flows.
Okay, sweet. Another question is, does it also follow the mention in tweets or bio to then analyze further on who the artist dev team are?
Yeah, that's a great question. So that's some stuff that I would like to add that would further help our research analysts, because right now that's all a manual task. Like there's some easy, like low hanging fruit, like when the account was created and like the user ID in case they changed their handle, like to track scams and that kind of stuff. So there's all kinds of metrics and data points that we are capturing and that we are storing. But to answer your question, like the bot isn't doing it. It's like there's no further insights being derived from it now, but that's definitely part of the plan.
Okay. And still from Rock and Stone, can we have a look at the non-paid versus plus output of this algo?
Yes, absolutely. So right now everything is everything that's in free preview is in the server. Like the website that we've alluded to and all that other stuff is definitely going to be down the road. But so the Discord is free to join right now. The only thing that you would be able to see past our mint would be the free category section, which has the scams and the daily recap.
Okay. And how long do you plan on like having this version for free?
The free, the scams, and the daily recaps, I would like to have for as long as we're operating. Realistically, to help.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, like the whole thing. Like I know right now it's very great. So like community and like us, Syndicate and other people, you're doing those collaboration who can actually have an insight of it. But for how long do you plan on keeping this free and then close the door?
Sorry, I misunderstood. More than likely, hopefully, we're aiming for the end of May. Like that's the goal, but we're definitely going to assess as we grow, for sure.
Okay. Thank you. With the
For sure, no, thank you.
with the snapshot of crypto NFT Twitter, are you are taking? Let me. What? This is a long question. With the snapshot of crypto NFT Twitter, you are taking one could also make great demographic analysis and derive value from the data. So big data science. That wasn't a question. That was a statement. My bad.
Yeah, that's okay. That's
Yeah.
okay. And if I can actually just top, I know that wasn't a question, but so right now we're sort of limited in certain things and certain APIs that we're able to use, and that's another thing actually that we didn't really touch on, that we're going to be getting like an enterprise API, so we'll be able to do much more after launch.
Okay. And how do you see this project in the future? What other ideas you got to do once this roadmap is done?
So, I mean, basically, what I would see is the one-stop shop for everything to do with NFTs and investing and research, analytics, the amount of data that we're really capturing. We're just scratching the surface of what can be done with it. I've got a notepad full of different ideas and stuff that we're looking to build afterwards, and we'll definitely be looking to our lifetime members for ideas and any tools and any suggestions or features or any ways to enhance what we've got now. Any tools you guys would like to see. Yeah, we're definitely all ears, and it's definitely just the surface being scratched. I don't know, Moot, if you wanted to add on to that as well, but sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, what the main thing I would add on is that this is this is a data and analysis project. In the front end, we're able to pull the data and give it out to people, but in the back end, we are really planning on taking the data that we're collecting and then we're gathering as automated as possible, of course, and being able to use that data in some capacity. So the sky's the limit as far as what we can do with the data. We just, we're going to be looking to our community for, suggestions. And part of what Frank had mentioned is that, we're going to be beta releasing, our new features to our community so we can get feedback as we kind of build out the project. And so, I think it's a great question as far as what we're going to do. And, the sky is the limit.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sure.
And also just to answer BT Doge's question about the Asian market. So I just to ask a clarifying question, and you can type it in the chat. I'm watching it. Are you referring to Asian projects that write in their native language that's not English? As far as how we're able to identify them, yeah. So I actually would defer to Frank on that question. So Frankie's asking basically like these Asian projects like Japanese, Chinese, that their profiles are in Chinese or Japanese. Is the tool currently identifying those projects? And if it's not, how do we do that?
Well, that's a great question. And I have noticed a few of those come across the feed, and it's actually caught me a little bit by surprise as well. And so with the logs and everything, I have gone back and looked to see what it's keyed in on. And so it's definitely something that I would like to expand. And so as we discover these new projects, I mean, the bot is only as smart as the people programming it, right? Like, I mean, that's just the way it is, right? So, but yeah, as we detect and we see these patterns and sort of these things that are potentially not being picked up on now, it's definitely being added, and I'm coding it into the bot so that it's able to pick up on it, whether it's if it's a different character, or different language or whatnot. Absolutely.
Yeah, that does present us with a challenge though, because we have to have people that can read those languages as well. So that's a good point.
Yeah, true. So they can bring like their own translation and say, okay, those are the keywords to implement it to the AI, and
right. Because if I saw anything come across the queue that was in Chinese or Japanese or some other language I didn't know, I wouldn't be able to tell one way or the other.
Mm-hmm. True.
So.
And another question from Rock: with Twitter now going into the hand of Mr. Musk, I know like the team is already looking at monetizing the platform to another level. How will you and the team react if scrapping Twitter either become paid or worse, off limits? What's the scenario then?
Yeah, it's a great question. I have definitely thought about that over the last few days. I mean, it's kind of hard to read him. I mean, obviously anybody can know that, or just from seeing his erratic behavior. But if anything, he's gonna like as mentioned, he's gonna want to monetize it, right? So if it is something that's a higher cost that's downloaded to the end user, I mean, will have to be more efficient and optimized, potentially even more the code, but it's really written in such a lightweight type of way right now. I would like to, the plan is obviously to expand it and make it much bigger, but yeah, it'll definitely be dependent on what limits are potentially set on us from Twitter at that juncture. Yeah.
Yeah, just to add to that too, I mean, right now the access to the Twitter API is not 100% free. It's based on the number of pings that you basically, or the number of requests, right? So, for our software to work properly, we have to send a ton of requests very frequently because we got to make sure we're not missing anything. So, I mean, it's already something that we have to consider from a P&L perspective.
And another question: are there other sources your algo can be pointed at for initial data analytics? Although thinking
that's a great question.
Twitter is really the place where NFT breaks ground. So,
I mean, we've already talked about using, and Frank, I'll also defer to you on this, but I will say we've already talked about utilizing testnet NFT or testnet, like OpenSea testnet information because a lot of projects do test on the test net before they do anything. Instagram, of course, is some potential information. Let's see, what else did we talk about, Frank?
So there's YouTube as well that potentially we could be looking at as well. But I mean, like you mentioned, I mean that those are definitely the best sources of initial data points for projects. But yeah, we can definitely look at any platform that's maybe being moved to, or where they're announced more. Or...
And this is like more for you and your business, but you could also like increase this for other areas than NFT. Like if like some people are interested in data, I don't know, about basketball or something, you could also sell that for those people, right?
Yep. It's interesting that you say that. I was telling my neighbor, I was telling my neighbor about what we're doing, and he was telling me that this is something that, he works for a marketing agency that works with Coke, and they do something similar, using scraping API or scraping data from Twitter, about market sentiment. And so there's certainly many more applications, not just NFTs.
Yeah.
He said they even like shut off ad buys in certain demographics in certain areas if there's like negative Twitter sentiment about Coke in that area. It's pretty crazy.
Amazing.
Very interesting.
My set, I don't have. Oh yeah, maybe you already know like what's gonna be the price for the pass once you're gonna launch it.
We don't have a price as of yet. We're definitely going to assess as the time goes by. But the supply we're looking at for the lifetime pass is going to be 222.
Okay.
And then the yearly, so for the rest of 2022, so it'll be at a discount, of course, it'll be 1111. So it'll be a fairly low supply just to keep the information as valuable as possible. And there's going to be some extra tools. Yeah, so there's going to be some extra tools that are going to be available for the Genesis Lifetime members as well. Just various different tools, but there's like auto Discord joiners and follow, retweet, and like auto type tools, and just those kinds of things as well that we'll potentially have available for Genesis members. And as well as R&D voting, so on different projects and features that we'll be working on. So we definitely want to make sure that we're listening to our Genesis Lifetime members when we're doing our dev.
And on which language are you programming this?
So it's mostly Python. And yeah, so there's a lot in the cloud, and then I've got some running in Linux, so there's like some shell scripts as well, and like a few other just like some Node stuff, but it's just copied to get things.
Okay.
There's a lot of moving pieces, so it's but so yeah, one of the other nice things is I've been in talks with another group that's developed a really robust Discord bot, like an actual like sort of news feed bot. So we're gonna hopefully be able to integrate our feed, and so yeah, hopefully it'll potentially speed up a lot of what I'm trying to do after Mint. So that's been great. Yeah.
Okay, cool. On my side, I don't have any more question. Is our like tech guy, or we have like checking the thread? I see some people typing. Is there any whitelist for the actual listener? We're very hyped to get our hands on.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean,
100%.
Yeah, I think, what do we do? I can't remember how many we did, Adam. But we got some whitelists to give away to Syndicate members for sure. And so actually, Rockin' Stones asks, can your algo sniff out potential rugs? I wish it could. But the good news is that we do have, as I mentioned, we have our validators that are reviewing these projects. So if we see something that is clearly a potential rug, like especially if, for example, they, when we see them, they have 1,000 followers already, and it's clear that they're all botted or bot followers. Those are the things that we'll make sure that we're noting and we're putting in our potential scams folder output. So, it's there's that human aspect that we have to have, because obviously the AI can't figure everything out. and so yeah, I mean we're doing as the best that we can to make sure that we're not pushing through any potential rug pulls or scam projects or anything like that. Good question there.
And yeah, that is a great question. One little thing I'll just add to that as well. So my daily recap goes back and scrapes the account, right? And the way I've coded it, it's just the handle, and then it gets the ID, and then anyhow, if they change their handle, we're able to detect, like I'm able to detect that, and I've written like some error checking so that it emails me. And so we have been able to find a few in the last couple of days. I just forget the names exactly. Well, A and anyways, but yeah, so if they change their handle, it's very obvious and it's very evident. And then we've got the user ID. We can go back and see what they've changed the handle to, right? Because they'll usually delete all the tweets and they'll keep the follower count and they'll switch to something else. But yes, no, that's a great question. We're definitely that's a whole other aspect of stuff that we're going to be looking at, 100%.
How do you guys feel about Syndicate Mint with Happy Meal payments? More than of a joke. Being there, many alpha groups out there, the one that get me the most good alpha calls are from the actual committee here in the syndicates. What are you guys planning to have a tight and helping committee like this one? From BT
Yeah.
Doge.
Well, I mean, I will just say that the Jira ticketing system that was alluded to before is going to be like a huge game changer as far as being able to catalog and categorize and see what's coming up. And then we're also adding on to that, without really giving, well, anyways, the website is going to have a lot more features that are going to be, and it's going to be a freemium type offering, right? So just putting it out there that we'll be able to ask for potentially everyone's opinion and everyone's insights or whatever, and then potentially some of that information will be gated for only our members. And so in a long and short way of saying it, it's like potentially a better way of getting the temperature from all alpha groups, maybe. Like that would be essentially the idea that I would love to see eventually.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah, and also one thing that I would add is that we're not really technically making alpha calls per se. We're really
Right.
just trying to find the projects that can be really good alpha. So we're still leaving it up to people who are true like alpha callers, if you want to call it that, to do their due diligence before they make calls, right? So just keep that in mind.
Yes, thank you. That's yes.
Another question regarding the algo. Does it do reverse image search to see maybe any early sign of a rug?
No, but that is a great question. You know what? And I'm going to write that one down. That's a great note.
So you can
because yes, because I wonder if what's that?
No, so just to clarify, Rock, so you're asking like if we catalog images of projects that we find and then are able to go back or in some automated way to determine if that picture had been used again?
I think he's asking that, and also maybe like you see all those like like those big 3D model hype luxury ape bears, like something we can already see like the red flag on those projects. So
that is such a good idea. So like that one the other day that the guy reached out to the guy on Instagram. Man, I'm so vague. The guy from the guy. Anyways, I just posted about it, and then it was stolen art, and it was literally a flipped image of something he had drawn. If I code that into the bot, and it could search that PFP against, like, do a Google reverse image search. Man, that's smart.
Yeah, so very to add on to what Frank just said, so one of our validators recognized the art from a project that came through the queue, and then he took the extra step to make sure to reach out to the artist, and we found out that it was a scam. So, that's just another testament to the team that we have that's working on this project, because we're not just like pushing anything through. They're doing their research. So,
and there's multiple. Yeah, that's a great point. And there's not only the one person, right? So we've got a team of a fairly decent, largely populated team. But so there's more than one person that's going to be doing the research and voting on it and stuff, right? So.
Okay, nice. And there was also like a lot of account like they're getting botted out, like you can also like buy a verified account, like do you like does the bot take that into account or not yet?
Right now, no, that's still a human intervention. But the thing with the purchased accounts and stuff, so the bot is coded not to look at larger accounts already.
Okay.
So there's certain metrics, yeah, that it's already, because yeah, so it would be sort of pointless, and they don't verify tiny accounts. I don't think they verify tiny accounts anyways, but no, I haven't seen that come across. Yeah.
So, everybody, but I mean, there are some exceptions, but like everyone knew that other side was coming, right? But we found it using the bot when it was like maybe under 9,000 followers.
Okay.
And then, within like a couple of days, it was over 100,000. But I mean, there's still that human element that we have to review every project that comes through to make sure that it, is legit.
And you just enlightened my whole room with your white screen, bright white screen there.
So just as a FYI, this is the daily report that's still going to be free even after we close the Discord. So this gives like the daily report of what we found, the ongoing count, like where we found it, and then the current count and the percentage increase. So this is something that people can use regardless. I mean, also just to mention, just to note that like the whole purpose, of what we're doing is to be able to help people find these projects and enrich the NFT community. And hopefully that we don't have to have people spending time searching through data day after day after day just trying to find early projects. I mean, this is hopefully to put that at their fingertips. I mean, that's our end goal here.
Yep.
And so we hope that people see that value,
and
we know they will.
Regarding these sheets you're showing, when is it updated? Like on a daily basis?
Yes.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
every morning at 9 a.m. Eastern.
Okay, so like I was already like thinking, okay, why should I buy the pass if I can have access to that? But if it's like the next morning,
No,
okay.
it's delayed.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, and in fact, it may be delayed. I think I don't know. I'm not sure exactly how it gets put on there. Frank may be able to talk to it more, but it's certainly delayed from when we found it. It doesn't go there immediately.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Yeah, no, it's definitely the next morning. So it's at 6 a.m. my time, so Pacific, or 9 a.m. Eastern. It gets generated.
I don't.
And so yeah, I mean,
yeah, go ahead.
No, sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was just saying I don't see any other question except Rock and Zone asking for a whitelist for the question about like the Google reverse search image.
Yeah, absolutely. Send me. Can you? Who was it that asked that? Can you send me a DM?
I'll send it to you.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, that was a great question. I love that. That was a great question.
And also, something to note that since I've been working with Frank, it's like we come up with these ideas, and it's like everything's possible, and it gets done. So it's just like amazing to see this. If you guys, if you guys remember Block Probe Frederick, the guy that came over here, he was talking about his project and what they were doing, and he's kind of the same way. Like if you have a suggestion, he listens, and that's something that we're really think's really important to people who end up buying our pass and use the software.
100%. Yeah, 100%. That's the goal. So to definitely make you guys happy and to make the information as easy and digestible as possible. I mean, I know the spreadsheet is just a lot of information, so I mean that's hopefully still driving value to other projects and people that might not necessarily be able to afford it. But the bot, the Discord, the future website, like we're definitely going to have it catered to everybody's needs and wants as much as possible.
Okay, sweet. Oh, and question that just popped into my mind, since you were talking about like doing allowing a subscription like for NFT project like ours, like for the Syndicate.
Yes.
Let's say we have the bot does the website and all the tool will be available for each mask member, or is it gonna be just like some feature that we are gonna have? Like what's the plan behind?
That's a great question. Yeah, so the bot would just be, so the bot you'd be able to invite into your server, and it would be like, I would see it as having its own channel.
Yeah,
it would have the
sure.
daily updates and the free scams. And then, so I'm not quite sure if it's going to be, so right now it's just the top projects that are coming through the feed, but potentially it may be like either you can get the top project or you can get all projects coming through the feed, but then it would just be the objective information at most. So like the comments from our analysts, those wouldn't get sent,
Okay.
and the access to the website as well. That would be from a past perspective strictly.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
And I see you're
So we're
on
trying to
the
just-
Rule Them Up Twitter from
Oh,
Hildebrand.
yeah.
So this,
Yeah.
I mean, I know about this because of the pizza bot, right? But this actually came through the feed like last night, and everybody who joined got OG in their server, which I think this
Yeah,
is
that was
personally going
pretty
to
nice.
blow up pretty big. But I may be wrong, but it looks like it's going to.
What was that last part?
I was just saying that it looks like based on who's involved in this project, if it's legit, which I think it is because it was shared by Seth Green and a few other people,
Yeah,
that this is
and
certainly thing to follow.
yeah, Greg Hildebrand is also doing like the art banner for the syndicates.
Is that confirmed?
Yeah, it's confirmed.
Okay. So that's pretty big. I know we've talked about that, the banners, and so that's a pretty big deal for us too. So, and I know that music's part of, working on this in some capacity, or at least with the Pizza Bot project. Yeah, so cool. We appreciate you guys having us on. I don't know, I don't join all of these. I don't know how long they all last, but I appreciate the
No,
questions, and this has been really good.
It's like the average 45 minutes to 1 hour, and I don't see no more question. Like, can you name the bot Kyodai? Like Syndicate most awesome role. But no other question. So yeah, thank you guys again for coming up.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you so much for the time, guys. And yeah, everyone listening, really appreciate it, guys.
Hey, Frank, real quick though, before we get off, how do you feel about me showing them kind of our next iteration with the output
Yeah.
via data?
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
So-
have a
Some
look.
alpha sneak peek. Let's go.
That's
So
right.
we haven't showed anybody this, but we're getting
Nope.
really close to it being done. So the feed that we're pushing out is going to have more information that's pulled from the project. And so as you can see in the not old, but like the current feed, it's just the Twitter account, right? With the Twitter handle. And so the new iteration, if you will, is going to have a lot more information to put everything. I mean, this is all test information, but it's going to put it right at your fingertips, and provide some content, like specifically these pros and cons section that are curated by our analysts on the back end. So just a kind of sneak peek of what's to come as we continue to develop the project.
Thank you for that, Alpha.
Absolutely. I'm glad you guys,
Sexy
you guys get to see it.
All right. Thank you guys. And I'll be around if anybody has any questions. Please join the server and check out the feed. And if you guys want to, if we can get some support to bring the feed into the server here, we're more than happy to do that.
Yeah, I think we'll manage that like in the end with Crypto King and you, and we'll check.
Yep.
All right.
He already has the role, so we just need to create a channel and then follow it. That's all.
Okay. Perfect. All right,
Cool.
guys.
All right.
Thank you again, and good
Thank
luck
you.
on the projects.
Really
Yeah.
appreciate it. Thank
All right.
you. Take care, guys. Appreciate the
Hey.
time.
Thanks.
Yeah, have
Take
a good
care.
one.